And we're live-ish. Hi, everyone.
Ish being the keyword there.
Yes.
Ish, this isn't a Patreon exclusive.
I wish. I got an update to XSplit last night, so hopefully one of the bugs it fixed was the video issues we've been running into. So hopefully, or as far as I can tell, because they don't make their bug tracker public, so they have a bug tracker ID and said fixed video stuttering issues while live streaming, and then that was it.
Well, that's helpful.
Yeah, super great. All right, you guys ready to kick this thing off?
As ready as going to be, I guess.
Waiting for Moon to finish.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, let's get started here in 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Welcome back to our second special episode of the year. We already talked about top 10. We already crowned TVGP's top game of 2017. Obviously, on top of the Typhon sits the crown. Prey has. That's the famous saying. You know, when you heavy is the Typhon that wears the crown. But let's talk about what we're looking forward to next year, and what our predictions were, correct, incorrect, or hilariously wrong. Usually the third category there.
Definitely.
If you haven't listened to this before, I don't know what Knobs is doing over there with some paper.
Oh, I was folding.
Yeah. We're going to talk about our predictions from last year in all of our categories. Our 4 categories are Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, and general industry/other stuff. We are going to be keeping score for anyone who isn't a host, and we're going to crown the most correctest of 2017, as we have for the last number of years? 5? Yes, something like that. And as always, none of us have any prior knowledge of anything in the industry. We are just taking, let's call them educated guesses.
Mine aren't even educated. Mine are just plain guesses.
There we go. I appreciate the honesty. All right, let's move into Microsoft 2017. Knobs' predictions. Number 1, headset this year. We got so close.
I would say it's half right, because it was supposed to come out.
Yeah, it was. And then the week of, they were like, a funny story. Haha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
I hear you like Crackdown as well.
His second prediction is Crackdown 2018. So, most likely a fat point for that one. Mass Effect Andromeda will have a dragon. I didn't finish that, did it?
It kind of does.
Kind of had dragon.
Great.
I'm gonna go in on that one.
There you go.
It flies.
Yeah. Mech Warrior is going to make everyone happy again. I really thought that was going to come out in 2017.
I did too.
But you want to take your time on that one, so I certainly don't blame them. And last but not least, new Crimson Skies game this year.
We kind of got a new old one.
Yeah, we got to...
Yeah, played the Xbox One.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a good one, too, because it seems like it's been long enough, and people still really like that game.
Yeah.
Moon says Scorpio comes out around Thanksgiving, doesn't hit Black Friday. I think it hit before Black Friday, right?
Yes, it did. 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Just shy. Crackdown 3 launch with Scorpio, game they used to push. Boy, I thought that was a given. Base model Xbox goes down to $150 to $200.
Big no.
I think it's $250 still.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the S is 300.
Dude, I could have sworn I saw that thing on sale for around $190.
Well, that's a great price for the S.
Yeah.
I should have bought 2.
Yeah. Scorpio learns from PS4 Pro and is very clear for benefits of each game.
They seem to have done that pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the main page. Unless you know what games are Xbox One X enhanced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Page.
Yeah, on the store page as well, it even says 4K resolution, Xbox One enhanced,
smart.
or HDR and stuff like that. It's listed in the store page.
Great.
The tile furthest to the right on the home page tells you too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they clearly learned. Sony sort of dropped the ball on what games are better on Pro. They don't even put it on their packages. And I think Microsoft picked up that ball pretty happily and said, hey, HDR, 4K, buzzwords. And last prediction here, Knobs buys a Scorpio within 2 weeks of it coming out.
Yep.
Oh,
day one.
Yeah. So, got that one.
I should have predicted me buying one within 2 weeks of it coming out because I was day 4.
Yeah. All right, my predictions. Let's crack open this hot, completely incorrect original prediction. Scorpio comes out and doesn't make a big splash, much like the PS4 Pro. Couldn't have been more wrong on that one. Second half, however, VR enthusiasts like the thing and use multiple headsets on the console. Remember when Microsoft was pushing VR on the X?
Yeah, isn't it like no headsets?
Yeah, I don't think it supports it at all anymore. Which
no, it's got the power to. They've come out and said it's got the power to. They just haven't put that in yet.
I mean, we could. We just don't wanna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft starts their own quarterly video show to feature their games/hardware outside of E3. They didn't do this. Major Nelson has been doing
This Week in Xbox.
Yeah, like This Week in Xbox, which is still. But I thought they would. I thought more people would do the Nintendo Direct stuff. Sort of surprised they didn't in 2017.
Yeah.
And Crackdown slips from the 2017 calendar. All right, I got one. That was the easy one.
Yeah, that was the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
We all three of us went 2 different directions with Crackdown. I went for the hopefully side, and you guys went for the no. Come on, be real.
Yeah. Poor Crackdown.
No, because we want it so bad. That's why.
Yeah,
that's
we're
true.
Trying to temper. All right, let's move on to community predictions here from Microsoft in 2017. The Floydage says Microsoft VR, not HoloLens, releases to great fanfare, mediocre adoption. They pushed VR real heavy during that one E3, but
they did. The announcement E3 when they announced the Scorpio, that was when they were just like, oh yeah, it's going to be powerful enough to do VR, and let's talk about our VR, and we've got a partnership with Oculus where everyone gets an Xbox One controller.
Fallout 4 VR, they're showing that on the X.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Knobs keeps playing the Halo series but doesn't finish ever.
Oh, he loaded it up like 2 days ago. I saw this and burst out laughing.
I made a good push.
I'll give him half a point.
I'm almost. No, he gets a full point because I didn't finish.
Yet, at least.
I tried to finish 2 and almost 3 this year.
Nice. You're making progress.
Oh, that game's so bad.
I'm not gonna lie, like I did load up my Xbox and see you playing that and just burst out laughing as soon as I saw you were playing the Master Chief Collection.
Musin predicts Scorpio pushed to 2018. I think that was a pretty safe bet with how little details they came out with originally, and for a real long time. Microsoft introduces new first-party game shooter franchise due to the Gears and Halo franchises not selling beyond existing fan base. This was not the year Microsoft introduced new stuff. It was the year they cut everything.
Yeah, which made no sense.
Yeah. No VR or HoloLens releases or support in 2017. That's a 1. None of that.
That's so good, it should be worth 2.
HoloLens is pretty much dead at this point anyway, so...
That's so disappointing.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It was so neat.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of for that is they are investing in the tech because they got a lot of feedback about how the viewing range on the HoloLens wasn't wide enough.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is they've shelved it until they've got the tech to do a better version of it.
Either that or they're trying to figure out a decent form factor for it because that thing looks obtrusive.
Yeah, the only other thing I think they might be doing is doing a hybrid where it's VR and AR. You know, the front of the VR face part of that is the AR glass stuff too. That'd be cool, but we'll see. Lance Freeman, 360 backwards compatibility becomes a more generalized emulator thanks to a major technology breakthrough. Really, I'm just tired of waiting for Namco to remember that Tales of Vesperia is a thing, and I'm grasping at straws here for reasons to get this thing ported.
And Tales of Vesperia is backwards compatible now, I believe, as well.
Is it? I was pretty sure it wasn't. Let me Google, because if it is...
I think one of the Tales games is BC now.
I will be playing something over Christmas.
I own it on disc and have never played it.
Still not BC. Bummer.
Tales, Harumph, Vesperia.
Yeah. I don't think there were any major leaps forward in backwards compatibility for this year for 360. I think they were mostly focused on the original Xbox, right?
Yeah, and it's also licensing deals. A lot of the reasons they can't do it is all of the licensing issues they have with music and things like that.
Yeah. Older, like launch day old Xbox One games become part of their cross-buy program. They focused instead on Game Pass, I think,
Yeah, I think they did.
instead of porting some of that stuff over. It's gonna happen this year. We're gonna get Rare Replay, Sunset Overdrive, and Capcom fan service DLC for Dead Rising 3 on PC.
That ended up going to PlayStation 4.
No, he's talking about Dead Rising 3, not Dead Rising 4. I don't know if all that stuff came out on 3 on PC.
I don't think it did.
Yeah, I think it was just the vanilla game. Yikes. And last but not least, Scorpio's a dud. This late in the game, people would rather wait for 9th gen. So far, the X has been doing very well sales-wise. So good on Microsoft. Maximus Prime. Their 2016 momentum will continue through the first, second, third quarter due to smart positioning of the Xbox One S and periodic flash sales. I think sales were stable all year.
Yeah, I think they did really good on like the actual sales digitally. Microsoft seemed to be knocking it out of the park with their actual store sales in the Xbox store. Like when you're getting Game of the Year editions for $10 and stuff like that, and it's just like, yeah, I'll take all of that. Thank you for lending from Steam.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody had to on the console side. I'll give them a point for that one. I think Microsoft did pretty well on both fronts this year. They will have an excellent showing at E3 with a great demo of Scalebound, Crackdown, Halo 6, and a brand new IP that will rival the best announced in 2017. I have real bad news for past Maximus Prime. None of those.
Yeah, the only thing they really showed was Bethesda's new game, whatever that thing is called. Anthem?
Anthem? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scalebound got canceled, Crackdown got pushed, Halo 6 was MIA, and I don't think they announced any brand new IPs, because Sea of Thieves they announced that at the previous E3.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. The details of the Scorpio, name, specs, full Oculus Rift support, backwards compatibility, and price will be announced, and the console will be very well received.
Yes.
Yeah. I think except for Oculus Rift support, all of that is there, so I'm going to add a +1 on that one. With the fantastic sales of the Xbox One S and the Scorpio's launch success, Microsoft is able to close the sales gap to 10 million units.
Ooh.
Let's look.
Don't think they would have hit that small of a gap yet.
Yeah, I don't... I'll look it up while we're talking, but I don't believe they've hit that yet, but they're getting close. The HANA predicts Windows Store on games on PC will continue to have major problems that keep people on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big old one. Scorpio release date will slip to 2018, and still no first-party wireless headset. Sadly,
half a point for that one.
Sadly, that's a 1.
Is it just me, or has the wireless headset first-party thing become a joke now between the community and Knobs? Everyone just puts it in their predictions to wind him up.
Yeah,
it's so upsetting.
It's even worse now that it was merely inches beyond our grasp.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about enough about the hilarious past. Let's talk about the probably hilarious future for Microsoft in 2018. Knobs, let's start with you.
Alrighty. I think Microsoft this year is going to go for a big push for mixed reality. I think that's going to be the new term.
Is this the VR and AR sort of stuff?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be that mixed, like that HP headset I think they put out or something.
Yeah.
One of those. Acer. Sure.
Because I know that's the actual...
Packard Bell.
I know that's the actual buzzword that they use in-house as well, is mixed reality. They don't use VR, they don't use AR, they say MR.
Interesting.
All right, Mr. Headset. I think we're going to get a new Elite controller this year. It'll be redesigned.
I think that's a really good shout, actually. Because that thing could do with some love.
Yeah, my little patty things on the back are falling off. The adhesive is letting go.
Oh, mine too. I've got 2 little chicken wings on the side of my grips that just stick out into my hands.
It's so hard not to play with it and pull it all the way off. Like, it's fighting my urge to peel stuff so hard.
Do you think they're going to make any major changes to the controller, or just sort of refresh it a little bit?
The improvement that I would want to see, now this is the prediction or anything, is more force feedback on the analog sticks.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and I didn't really realize that until I was playing a racing game, like how nice it would be to have some resistance on that stick in turns and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like, just so that yoke isn't as all the way left, all the way right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing they do well in driving games with the impulse triggers. Like, you can feel the curb when you're in Forza and you hit that curb and just clip it just right. You can feel it vibrating through the trigger. So to be able to have that in the actual sticks as well would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Not to mention Ace Combat 6 with that. Yes, please.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking that it'll have some marked improvement, definitely a little more durable. Because I was, mine actually feels worn. Like, granted, I use that thing a lot, so.
Yeah, but for the price tag, you want it to be sort of stand up to the test of time.
A one-buy thing.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I think it's going to be another slow year for games. And let me see. What the hell did I write here? Oh, all right. There's going to be a lot of announcements for games coming up at 19. Not a lot of stuff coming this year.
I think that sounds pretty safe, especially at E3, since they're saying, we're doubling down on games. They don't have a lot of time to just come out with them next year.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
All right, Moonpier. What do you have on your category?
The X continues to sell well. It doesn't break any ground, though, so it doesn't become like the best-selling console ever. I actually think the S might outsell it. Mm-hmm. But the X continues to sell very well to its target audience, aka me, Nobs, Maximus, the high-tech nerds in the groups. My wife doesn't have a 4K and she's desperate for the X just because it's a shiny new piece of equipment.
Yeah.
They announced at least 5 indie exclusives. Wow. Be that timed exclusives or console exclusives. I think they're going to go hard for the indies because they're seeing more and more, and they should have learned this 5 years ago, how powerful indies can be. And honestly, I think Sony has kind of given up on their indies. They were like, yeah, we launched with a bunch of indies. Now we're going to forget about them. They pulled a PSP on their indie developers, shall we say. Well,
and Cuphead did really well for Microsoft in 2017. So, if they can replicate that sort of buzz around an indie game, then, you can capture lightning in a bottle again.
Well, yeah. I hope they're a little more selective, because last thing they want is to happen on the 360, where it just became just a cavalcade of crap.
Not like what Steam looks like, where it's like, great, 400 games came out this week. Awesome.
Yeah, it's impossible to sift through it.
Yeah,
exactly. Their store already looks like that, though. But I'm pretty sure so does the Sony store. To be completely honest,
Sony store has a lot of other problems.
And I'm going to apologize for the quotation marks ahead of time. They lose a bunch more exclusives to Sony from Japan because, for whatever reason, they just don't want to put things out on a Western, quote-unquote Western console, despite the fact that the PlayStation is now a Western console.
Right.
Nobs buys
a strange axe to grind. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. I honestly don't understand it. I don't understand why I can't play some of the games that I know Sony haven't paid exclusivity rates for. But hopefully it changes. And Nobs buys at least 3 headsets for his Xbox.
No.
Maybe 2. That way you'll always have 1 and one's charging.
I'm gonna go with 3 just because it's Nobs, and I thought 2 was a safe bet. I'm gonna take the risky bet and go for 3.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like, technically, I really haven't bought a headset. I bought that stereo headset, and then pretty much I've been using the one that was the pack-in for the PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm hoping with the wireless ones, you go out and you drop serious dime on it. But that's all I've got for Microsoft. I don't want to predict too much.
I only have two predictions this year. I think Microsoft's going to make Xbox One and X enhancements mandatory for all new releases. I think they're going to learn from Sony, where some games are coming out and they have pro support, and some games aren't, and you don't really know if you're going to get a better experience with the more expensive console. I think Microsoft is going to come out and say, look, even if it's not 4K, if you can do 1080 60 or 1080 rock solid 30, like you need to have HDR, you need to have some sort of enhancement that we can put on the box and say this one's better on Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Crackdown 3 gets delayed once more, but it still comes out in 2018. I think it slips by like another 2 or 3 months, like at the very last minute. They find some sort of bug, some sort of issue, but I think it still comes out like middle 2018.
You shut your mouth.
It's like when someone has a fish line hooked to a $20 bill on the street. They're just pulling it along a little bit.
I don't need that to drop in the summer, please. Please drop her in the spring or the winter.
It's going to drop like the same time that 4 other huge games drop. It's going to have the worst timing. All right, let's talk about the community's predictions, starting off with T-Bomb Rocks. The Xbox One X will take 40% or more of Xbox consoles sold. I think that's probably pretty safe, I think. Because Microsoft's really pushing it.
Yeah.
I think 40% is probably... I think that's high, but I think with the original model of the Xbox One phasing out and the S being the only other model, I think the Pro might do pretty well. Or the X, sorry.
Yeah. I'm to be honest, I'm really pleased with how they are pushing the X really hard, but also coming out and saying, don't get it if you don't want it. If it's not suitable for you, don't get it. But here, go get it.
Yeah. Microsoft will create 2 internal studios and have 3 to 5 third-party exclusives announced.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean I think that's the best way of putting it. I hope so. I mean they need more stuff on their platform, definitely more exclusives. More reasons for people to go out and buy it, more reasons for people to turn that thing on and join their friends. And last but not least, Scalebound will rise from the ashes and be released by the end of the year.
I hope so, but
that's worth 5 points if that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one.
Yeah. TVGP alum Brian the Hannah writes, Crackdown 3 gets delayed again. Sort of a similar version of what I was saying, but I don't think he has the 2018 optimism that I do. Another permanent price drop, $50 on each SKU, so the S is $199 and the $249 for the 1 terabyte. I think that's probably going to happen in 2018. That seems, at least by Christmas, they'll chop another $50 off that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And OG Xbox or 360 emulation on PC via the Windows 10 store.
Oh, that'd be neat.
I don't think they're ever going to do that, because as soon as they do that, somebody's going to crack that thing wide open and be like, hey, we stole this and we put it up on the Pirate Bay, and here's your... Nobody's writing an original Xbox emulator on PC, so Microsoft did it and we stole it. Here you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Lord Kalmar writes, they'll focus on games. That is our Lord Kalmar's only prediction, and I hope so.
Me too.
Let's make 2018 have great games again. Jess, a.k.a. Mrs. Moonpier, writes, Sea of Thieves will be free to play. That would be really interesting. It
would be. Unfortunately, she made that prediction, and then I know 2 days later they announced the release date and the price for it.
Okay, well, there we go.
I said that to her, and she literally cast up a storm in the living room.
And Game Pass will have a yearly sub cost. Because I think right now you can only pay for it monthly, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna... That'd be interesting if they did, like, it's $10 a month, you buy it for the year, it's only $100.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a smart decision that they should make.
Well, they should have a bundle price with that and live.
Yeah, totally. 160 for 12 months and Game Pass. I'll take it.
Yeah, and then you just only have to worry about it once a year. And you just sort of renew your passes and you're good.
Yep.
Corey predicts Microsoft announces Xbox VR for holiday 2018. Yeah, I wonder if this is sort of along the lines of your prediction, Knobs, where it's some sort of... Maybe Microsoft didn't make it, but they branded, like an Asus mixed reality headset for the Xbox One.
If it's an Asus, I'll support it.
Yeah, totally. That Halo TV show from Steven Spielberg finally comes out as a lead-in to Halo 6.
That's
Maybe? That's
possible.
That would be a good time to release it. I don't know if they ever finished it or if it died in pre-production, but people like the Halo stuff. So you put out a Halo TV show and say, hey, this is a teaser for Halo 6. You get a lot of people watching it.
And to be honest, the live-action Halo content that they've produced has been absolutely phenomenal.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I like the world. I just don't like the game.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
The thing checks so many boxes for things that I like, and it's just
not the gameplay.
Oh my god, I love everything about it except playing it.
Yeah. Musim predicts new first-party franchise announcement, and it's a hero shooter / arena versus game with their first-party characters. It almost sounds like he's predicting like a MOBA?
Whatever the Blizzard version is, where it's got someone from everything in it.
Heroes of the Storm?
Yes, something like that, except with Microsoft characters.
Marcus Phoenix.
No.
And Anya.
Go to the best one, please.
And
Conker.
Jack.
Binks, the Time Cat.
Don't mention Blink.
Voodoo
we go with
Vince.
Conker. Bad for a day, Conker. Come on.
Yeah.
The Burger King.
Yeah, the Sneak King.
The Sneak King. All right, this has sounded better. I like the idea.
And I'm sorry, secret character's got to be the OG Xbox, and it just comes in and stomps on people. Like, it jumps and stomps.
Yeah,
like
the prototype Xbox.
Yeah. Xbox One X price lowers to $400. How much is it right now?
$499.
$100 might be too much to drop in 1 year, but I'd be...
That thing was $500.
Yes, it was $499. No,
I wouldn't be surprised if they bring it to $450 in time for Christmas, but $400 is a big drop for a brand new console. It would sell like crazy, but
yeah, it's how much can they get the development costs down, because I don't think they're making much profit on that. I think they might be taking a loss on it.
Probably. And Microsoft makes the Xbox OS capable of running Steam.
No.
That's a swinging for the fences one, but that would be real crazy.
If that didn't happen on a 360, it ain't happening.
Yeah, that's true. Matt from Oz predicts mixed reality launches on Xbox One X in November. So sort of pairing up with Knobs's. New IP announced at E3.
I hope so.
That would be really great. Something like that. And Crackdown 3 completely flops.
Well, that's a guarantee. We all know that. It's going to be the exact same thing that happened with 1 and 2. We are going to love it. It's going to be a great game, and nobody is going to buy it.
It's going to be well received and not exactly a sales hit. But hopefully it has a long enough tail on it like the first one did. That sold pretty well for a real long time. Gibionator predicts Crackdown 3 gets massively inflated review scores for being a first-party Xbox One exclusive in a world where those are in very short supply. Maybe. Scalebound will be resurrected, but without Platinum at the helm, so what would the point even be? Right there.
Very true.
No more shovelware on Xbox One backwards compatibility. It's time for them to finally give us Tales of Vesperia. Maximus Prime predicts, by the close of 2018, Microsoft will be respected by the games industry for an incredibly strong turnaround. I think they're sort of already there. From we announced the console and everyone pushed back on the DRM to, hey, the Xbox One X is really good. That's a really great console.
I think it's, hey, we got rid of those old dudes and now it's Phil Spencer. How do you like them apples?
Yeah, exactly. The Xbox One S will drop to $199, and the X will be $400. These prices and a surprisingly great list of exclusives, and the best experience for third-party games will push it to outsell the PS4 consoles by a large margin. Maximus is a fan of the Xbox One.
I would say that would be a good one for 2019. I think they're a year out.
Yeah,
I think they're going to spend this year announcing all those games, and then leading into a buster year in 2019.
Yeah, and like getting the momentum in 2018, because they stumbled a little bit in 2017, except for the X. They will show their AR headset at E3 and release it in the fall. It sells out day one and ushers in a new way to play games that so many hoped VR would, but didn't. Maximus Prime likes the Xbox One.
Well, good thing there's still those 2 USB ports in the front of the thing.
There you go. All right, let's talk about Nintendo from 2017. Knob says the Switch is going to be on par with Wii U for sales. People are disappointed by the battery life. Shockingly, it's selling incredibly well. It just passed 10 million units, which
good, good
battery life still sucks.
Yeah, battery life still is rough, but the Wii U, when we looked, sold 2 million and change, 2.7. So thankfully, Nintendo got a pretty good hit on this one.
Yeah.
Very little third-party support on Switch. From big publishers, I'd say that's halfway there. Shockingly, everyone seems to be putting out their indie games on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
That is not one I could have predicted at all. And an AR scanner game with the Switch. They didn't do anything with AR, surprisingly, I don't think.
No, they didn't.
In a handheld game. It counts like
you have a full-powered handheld console. Let me scan some stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Isn't there a new Pokemon game coming out in 2018?
It's coming out at some point.
Does it have a camera in the console?
Yeah, I think the tablet thing has a camera.
Can you point that at a bush and then have a Pokemon jump out at it?
I mean, you can point that at whatever you want. Also, you could probably play Pokemon Go. Moon predicts Switch will get about 6 months of third-party support. Has it been out for longer than 6 months?
I do not know.
I think it has been. We're still seeing good stuff, but maybe 2018 is where the store gets steamed. And
I can't wait for my 2018 predictions.
Yeah. 3DS is largely ignored, then retired in late 2017. I thought this was going to be a shoo-in, but still holding on.
Still kicking.
Yeah. Nintendo makes at least 4 mobile games.
What did we get? Mario, Animal Crossing.
Yep. Pokemon Go was the previous year. I think it was just Mario and Animal Crossing.
Sure, there was another one.
More than 0, which is a surprise.
Well, at least a Metroid game this year.
Not for phones.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. And with the Switch, they will have parity with PSN on PS3, not a typo. They still don't have their online infrastructure out, so yeah, maybe. Maybe that's a better prediction than we thought. My prediction is the Switch becomes a huge hit this year once people get their hands on it. I don't think it hits Wii levels of success, but will do very well for Nintendo overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's Wii levels of success yet, but I think they have the potential of it. Nintendo.
Well, I mean, they set the bar so low with the Wii U, so yeah.
Yeah.
Sold so poorly. Nintendo's push into the mobile market, iOS/Android, will stumble early on as they start to publish more quote-unquote real games, but will pick up speed near the end of the year. Nintendo, what was it, Mario Run, was not well received, and is still getting patched, but still not well received. I think Animal Crossing was very well received, and I think they're sort of figuring out how to do it still. Yeah.
Animal Crossing was really well received by people who played Animal Crossing games before.
Yeah.
And people like you who have no idea what's going on are just like, oh.
I'm just lost. 3DS sales slow down and Nintendo quietly stops production without a follow-up handheld announced. Still making them. stopped producing the Wii U, but that's
They
less of a surprise.
even started producing they even started making a new 3DS, didn't they? The 2DS flippy version.
The 2DS XL, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. New Smash Brothers for the Switch is announced, focused around multiple people playing on the same Switch. The previous game's director does not return. Shockingly, have not announced a new Smash Brothers for the thing that doesn't need a lot of extra controllers to play.
Yep.
Baffled on that one. All right, community. Gavacho13 says, I predict 2017 Nintendo will re-release a ton of games for Switch, Splatoon, Smash Bros., Xenoblade, etc., that people who bought a Wii U already own, causing us to wonder why we'd buy the Switch at all. The Big N will have some kind of weird, lame discount program for people who already bought those games on Wii U, or no kind of discount at all. I don't think they have really re-released anything, right?
And the new Splatoon game is basically just an updated version of the old Splatoon game, I think. Mm-hmm. And Mario Kart 8 is basically a direct port of the Wii U version.
The deluxe with some extra content.
Yeah, I don't know if the Xenoblade came out.
No, it didn't. That's surprising because they used to do a lot of that stuff, especially from Wii to Wii U.
Yeah. How have they not done the Mario game, Mario Maker?
Yeah, that one's baffling. I also predict that in 2017, Nintendo will release a new Monster Hunter game built from the ground up for the Switch, causing me to immediately shell out around $300 in money and 300 hours in time that I don't have to spend. Shockingly, it's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
That could not have predicted that one. The Floydage, Zelda Breath of the Wild delayed again, but is amazing. Helps drive sales of the Switch. I don't remember if it was delayed. I feel like it came out when it was supposed to.
I honestly do not know.
I'm going to add a half point for that, because it did push a lot of sales on the Switch, and it was...
Yes, it did. It was all people talked about for like 6 months.
Well, and shockingly, it's winning a lot of like Game of the Year awards, which I don't personally see, but... good on them. 3DS is discontinued. Nintendo hopes everyone buys a Switch instead. And a surprisingly great Metroid game releases, or is at least announced. Sadly, no, not yet.
We had a teaser, but that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Musum, Switch is successful, but has severe hardware limitations. Wii U performs better in some scenarios. Surprisingly not. I think we were expecting that to come out and not be very good at all, and it was pretty good. Nintendo releases another version of the DS after releasing the Switch.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they did.
The 2DS XL, as we were just talking about. Tokyo Mirage Sessions released on Switch. Sadly not. Sequel announced for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Sadly not. Xenoblade Chronicles Collection announced for Switch. They just put out a new one. Digital transfer between Wii U and Switch takes approximately 2 to 4 hours. I don't even think there is one.
There isn't.
Yeah, we're all swinging a miss on Nintendo last year.
It's because we expected to pull the same old Nintendo stuff, and they've surprised everybody and not done that, with the exception of their online chat methodology.
Oh, God, yeah. Lance Freeman, the 3DS has a good year of life left. There's still quite a few games in the pipeline for it. I feel like it didn't. They weren't focusing on that this year, so nothing really big came out. That just all came out on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
New 3DS finally gets Game Boy Advance Virtual Console support. First games out the door for it are the 10 Ambassador games from way back in 2017, or 2011. Still no Mother 3 or Fire Emblem Sealed Sword. It got Super NES Virtual Console.
Yep.
But I don't think it got Game Boy Advance Virtual Console this year.
I do not know, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it did. Ever Oasis, Grezzo's new Zelda-esque RPG, is out by year's end. I'm going to have to Google this one because I don't even remember it. It came out in... It just says 2017.
That means it's not out yet.
Yeah, June 2017. Hey, there we go. +1 for Lance Freeman. Codename Steam, Fire Emblem guys... made XCOM starring storybook characters, gets a second chance on the Switch. I thought that would have happened because the performance on the 3DS was pretty bad, but
yeah,
they didn't continue going with. SteamWorld Heist got a sequel, surprisingly. Maximus Prime Super Mario on iOS and Android kills in sales throughout the winter because everyone cashes in their gift cards to buy it. They did not.
Nope.
That game was quickly forgotten. Nintendo has its first flop mobile game when it releases a Luigi game that's critically panned and poorly received by customers.
No,
Wouldn't that be Mario Run?
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, the year of Luigi is over. Like, Nintendo doesn't care about that guy anymore.
No, Nintendo never cared about that. I want the year of Waluigi.
Oh god.
That's never going to
I
happen.
think 2017 is the year of Waluigi. The 3DS sales stall, and Nintendo shows near complete lack of support for the first-party games for its old mobile device. Hasn't done that well, but I don't think it's stalled. I mean, it continues to sell all right. Nintendo Switch hits the market like a bomb and is loved by critics, adored by gamers from 5 to 75, and shows how sound design, great software, and true innovation creates a perfect storm for success. It leads in sales over both Sony and Microsoft every month throughout 2017, except for the month Scorpio releases. We all buy one after waiting for months to get our hands on one because of classic Nintendo supply constraints.
That's a good half point because it did come out. It did really well. It stole the internet consistently. It didn't sell that well.
It sold steady. It wasn't like
It sold well, but
it
didn't outstrip everybody else kind of selling well.
Yeah, and they didn't really have a lot of supply constraints. This year was the NES and Super NES Classic that took that honor. The HANA predicts Switch outsells Wii U by a wide margin, at least doubles the Wii U month over month for the first year. Yup. Although that was a pretty low watermark to beat.
Yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto amiibo, sadly no, and Nintendo still won't understand the internet.
That's definitely yes.
That's a point.
Yeah, since Splatoon 2's chat system required you to plug a headset into both your phone and the console at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. All right, let's talk about our predictions for Nintendo in the year of Miyamoto's 2018. Knobs, we'll start with you again.
Alrighty. So I think we're getting a new pick game this year. Pikmin.
Oh, okay.
Pikmin 4, I think. Is that the right number?
Whatever. 5, I think.
Let me see. I think a new Metroid game will be teased, but not a Metroid Prime game.
Right. So, like, something else?
Yes, I think it'll be something else.
Yeah.
Another M.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, that's a very good possibility.
Hey.
Let me see. And Next Level Games will announce a new IP.
Next Level Games. What have they been doing?
Oh, I don't know. I just read it somewhere.
Okay. All right, Moonpear, your predictions.
Nintendo. Keep up the steady releases for the first party. They do the thing they've done so well this year, which is one huge game a quarter, it seems like. Mm-hmm. Consistently drip feeding that really good content out to everybody who's got a Switch, so they don't get bored of it. It's a really smart idea. I think they're going to keep that up. I think they're going to lose all of the remainder of their third-party support. Hello, prediction from last year. Welcome to this year.
Oh, man.
And I think the online infrastructure, like the Nintendo Online Network, the whatever you want to call it, is going to be terrible. So terrible. And my final prediction for Nintendo, they're going to continue to get great indies for about 6 to 8 months, and then they're going to Steam their store, and it's just going to get flooded with utter crap, just like Steam. They're going to stop being so selective, and they're just going to start accepting everything.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very real concern for 2018. Just bring all of them all in. They're all good.
They are sitting there with really top-quality indies on their store, and they're clearly selling well. And as a business, they're probably going to go, let's just get them all. They'll all sell well, won't they? They'll all do this.
Yeah. All right, my predictions. 3DS sales start to slow steadily over the year, with sales shifting over to the Switch. I think we're going to see a real, one hand goes down, one hand goes up pretty clearly over the year. Nintendo continues to court indies on the Switch over 2018. The console becomes the place for indie devs to release their games. When I wrote this, I think I wrote it before the store started looking steamy. So I was a little bit more optimistic than maybe I would be today. And I agree with Knobs. A Metroid game gets announced, but it's not what we want.
Right.
It's going to be something, but it sure as hell isn't going to be the next Prime. T-Bomb Rocks Ribbons will be announced as their form of achievements.
That's a really good Nintendo name.
It really is. When I read that, I was like, Ribbons.
I'm so mad. I didn't know what to think of that before.
I know. That'd be another one I'd give a whole handful of points for. Animal Crossing or Pokemon will not release for the Switch this year. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Pokemon's going to be a 2018. I think that's going to be a late 2019. Like, they just announced it way too early.
Yeah.
Nintendo will introduce microtransactions into their exclusives. It won't seem that bad because they will Nintendo it up. It sort of started doing that with Animal Crossing, and it seemed fine-ish.
Which one? The phone version?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't touched that, so I don't know.
Yeah. It basically has, like, energy. So you wanna rush building this stuff, you can buy building tickets or whatever. You know, it's pretty standard stuff. TVGP alum Brian the Hannah writes, 3DS support tapers off in favor of Switch. Switch releases slow down, but sales stay steady. Which maybe I'd like to, like Moon said, I'd like to see them release a Nintendo game, even if it's not a huge one, every quarter. Mm-hmm. New Mario Party for Switch, resulting in another giant bomb Mario Party where Jeff finally kills Dan.
Yep, I hope so.
Yeah. Corey says Nintendo revives F-Zero from the devs of Fast RMX. Remember correctly, that game is just F-Zero. So, have them make it. That's a good idea. Nintendo Prime 4 will be called Nintendo Prime Dread. I totally forgot about that old... I think they trademarked that name back on the GameCube. And everyone was like, oh, Metroid Prime. Wow. But... nothing ever came. And Super Mario Maker 2 releases on Switch. I really hope so, because that would sell really well.
Yeah, that is a really good summer game for them. That is is Mario Maker 2. It's the exact same game, except he is like another Mario game's worth of, levels.
Yeah. Now you can make it look like Mario 64's backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Musin predicts Switch is the best selling during the whole year. Nintendo would love that if the Switch was the best-selling console. Nintendo's online PS Plus / Xbox Live equivalent delayed to 2019. I mean,
very possible.
Probably. Nintendo starts releasing game variants of the Switch like they did with the DS and Game Boy. That would be interesting if they put out like a Mario Maker Switch and it has basically like a decal on it.
Yeah, go ahead, Nose.
Well, I was going to say Next Level Games, the guys that did Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to see them do not only what you're talking about, like the actual decals on the Switch being different. I'd love them to do a Mario Maker Red, Mario Maker Green. Like, do the old Pokemon trick.
Right. That'd be cool. Matt from Oz says, continues to release 3DS games and manufacture 3DS hardware. Probably a safe bet on that one. Pokemon RPG on Switch. It'd be great if that was one of their big tentpole releases for 2018, but sounds like a big game. And they announce a minor revision to the Switch hardware. Not sure what that would be, but I don't know if they come out with one that has like larger internal storage or something, but I don't know what they would do. I'm not exactly
sure what you said.
What's that?
Yeah, you froze a little bit then.
Oh, they announced a minor revision to the Switch hardware.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, internal hardware.
Comes with a packed headset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Headset and dongle and phone that you can plug it into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, use your Nokia phone.
Gibinator predicts Switch sales will be within striking distance of Xbox's second place by year's end. Probably, if it continues to sell as well as it is. Detective Pikachu gets full localization announced. Ryan Reynolds not cast as the voice of Pikachu in the game. I think he just did. So, sorry. 3DS starts getting sunsetted by year's end, but still gets lots of indie/third-party support.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. Maximus Prime rounds us out with the Switch will continue to sell like gangbusters despite the fact their third-party showing is weak. Probably going to slow down. Skyrim is out now, so what else do you need to put out? They will announce 3 new colors of the Nintendo Switch, and people will lose their mind like it actually matters. Probably. Maximus.
Here's your Breath of the Wild Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo and the games industry will realize Nintendo released all its best games in 2017 and doesn't have a great Nintendo for 2018. Maximus Prime making his feelings known about Nintendo.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Sony in 2017 as we hit our halfway point here, and we've been recording for a while, yikes. Knob says, God of War is going to be awesome, return to form. Shockingly did not come out in 2017. I thought that would have... I think we were thinking that 2017 wasn't going to be that good of a year for games, so we were sort of hoping God of War would be, the shining bastion, but they smartly pushed that back to 2018. VR is going to be ignored and not supported by year's end. Boy, we're real close.
Yep.
Seems all but announced. Another SKU for the PS4 this year above and beyond the PS4 Pro, and it has VR stuff in it. Thankfully, they did not. That would have been a real bad idea. Zero Dawn is going to be cool, not going to be great.
No idea. Didn't play it.
It's on the real high in a lot of top 10 lists, and I still haven't played it, but everyone seems to really love that one. So, Moon continue on course with indie games, keeping that train going. Almost. Continue relationships with third-party stuff like Call of Duty.
They did get the Call of Duty thing, didn't they?
I think they got this year's one, right?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Microsoft switched, jumped ship from Call of Duty a couple of years ago to the Battlefield and now Battlefront. So they do all their co-marketing with Battlefront.
Right. Exclusives will be overhyped, tepid response. Not in 2017, shockingly. Sony are going to PSP the Vita, and PSVR will join the Getting PSP'd club.
Yep.
PSVR, yeah, and I think they didn't even PSP the Vita, they just forgot about it. The PSP at least got like a Viking funeral, but the Vita sort of like... No, they didn't.
They don't.
Vita doesn't live here anymore. He moved and he gave me his new address. The Pro does get clearer about what games take advantage of the power, then use God of War as the reason to buy a Pro. I was hoping they would.
No.
Yeah. My predictions, PS4 Pro moves very few units, and the PSVR sales slow down over the course of the year.
Half right?
Half right on. Yeah, I think the PS4 Pro hasn't done super well. And once people figured out not a lot of games support it, so they don't really need it. And PSVR just... Sony formally announces the end of the production of the PS Vita. They would if they remembered it.
Yep.
Sony also announces the end of PlayStation Now. Sadly not. We're waiting for that one to get taken out behind the woodshed. And Sony's focus at E3 is mostly indie titles and smaller games, while their stable of larger games takes a break in 2017. No.
Nope.
A banner year for both Microsoft and Sony for big games. All right, community. The Floydage, Vita discontinued, no Sony handheld announced, no new good mobile games.
Half.
Half a point.
Yeah, I was going to give a half just because they haven't officially, put a bullet in the VR. New version of PlayStation VR, further fragmenting VR audience. Thankfully, they were smart enough not to do that one. Musin predicts PS Pro gets 4K Blu-ray support, much to the chagrin of a lot of very impassioned people. It still does not have 4K Blu-ray support.
Really?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those things where it's like, why not?
I don't think they've even got the drive in for it, have they?
I I don't know. I don't know the tech on it. I know the Xbox One X does.
Yes,
Which was a
and so
smart
does
choice.
doesn't the S has it too?
Yep, yes, has it as well.
I didn't even know that. Cheap Blu-ray player. Go get it.
Which makes me laugh considering they own part of the 4K technology.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. They were a big player on that one. His next prediction that I'm looking up, excuse me, Horizon Zero Dawn pushed back to April. It came out in February, like it was supposed to. Surprisingly. God of War dated for 2017. Trailer has sad guitar.
I don't remember if it had guitar in it or not.
I don't think it did. I think it had like the sad orchestral music.
Yeah, it had sad harps, which is old school guitar. So I give it that one.
Yeah,
give it that.
I'll give him half on that one because he's
He doesn't have a pan flute in it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe. Sony VR goes the way of the Vita.
Yep, I'm calling it. Give that man his points.
Yeah, they both are ignored.
Yep.
And the PlayStation 5 was announced, which thankfully not.
Yes.
Lance Freeman remastered PC versions of Final Fantasy 8 and 9 make their way to PS4. I think 9 might have. I don't think 8 did. I'll give him a half for that one, because one of them did. Horizon headlines a new Better on PS4 Pro initiative to hide how poorly optimized it is for non-pro hardware, similar to reports how Last Guardian's poor performance on older hardware. I don't think, really, I think they just showed it on the Pro and sort of ignored the vanilla one for games that had trouble like those two.
Yep, I think they did that with both of them.
Yeah. PS3 version of Persona 5 becomes digital only in North America. Shockingly, no. That they put out a box on that one, which I thought that was going to be a shoo-in. Remaining God of War catalog gets ported to PS4 to build hype for the Norse-based soft reboot.
How did that not happen?
I think they're going to do it like a month before the new one comes out. You know, they probably just have it waiting on a server somewhere, waiting to push the button, the launch Kratos button. My favorite button on the keyboard. Maximus Prime, the PS4 Pro finally gains traction in the second quarter with enough Pro content to make a solid value proposition for consumers. That's tough, because I don't feel like it ever really gained traction this year like the X did.
No. It feels like they were too wishy-washy with their messaging in regards to it.
Yeah. PSVR takes a nosedive after the holidays with an E3 announcement of a second-generation headset that further hurts sales of the poor little headset. Not really. They just sort of ignored it at E3.
Mm-hmm. They just ignored it a whole year.
That's true. Sony has a slow trickle of first-party games that discouraged many throughout 2017, and both God of War and Spider-Man are shown at E3, but are disappointing because they are 2018 releases.
Yep.
Yeah. Slow trickle of first-party games. Yeah, most of their stuff was second or third-party this year. So yeah, that's a one. Right on the nose with God of War and Spider-Man. Both of those like, yeah, they look 2018.
Yeah.
There are two things that save Sony from being a complete wash in 2017: are the surprisingly good Days Gone that releases fall 2017, and the permanent price drop of $250 for PS4 Slim, which during the holidays sees prices of $200, and the permanent price drop of the PS4 Pro to $350, sell prices during the holidays touching $300. These factors begin to stop the bleeding a little bit, but overall, Microsoft and the Big N smashed Sony in 2017. All of that was incorrect. Days Gone isn't even close to being out, which I could have sworn that was a 2017 title, but I think they're getting out of the way of everything else that came. And I think Microsoft is now starting to drink Sony's milkshake as 2017 marched on.
Yeah.
But I think Sony still did really well throughout at least the first half of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hannah says, Vita officially abandoned. Memory card prices remain high despite this.
Yes.
So half, because, you know, memory card prices are still ridiculously expensive, but not officially abandoned, just put in the corner and ignored. Lack of AAA games on PS Plus continues, as does whining about the lack of AAA games by nearly everyone on the internet.
Yes.
They did pretty okay with AAA games on PS Plus this year. They had like Metal Gear Solid 5. They had a couple of big games on there, but Knack and Knack 2 have not been on there yet, so I will give a half point for that. Because everyone's still complaining about that, because they're crazy.
Yes.
PS Now gets big branding push from Sony, still terrible to use.
Yes. On both fronts, I would say.
I guess that's half, even though they didn't promote it at all. All right, let's talk about our predictions in 2018, starting off with you again, Knobs.
Alrighty. I think this is the year that Sony's going to make a huge VR push.
Oh, yeah?
I kind of think they're going to put all their eggs in the 2018 basket and double their catalog for VR.
Is this a 5-pointer for Knobs? But to be honest, it's not going to be hard to double their catalog because they've only got 2 games.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, I only need 2 more games.
Yeah.
So
that's
a pretty low bar.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
But I think they're going to be something that's going to be. They're going to say, yeah, this is it. This doesn't work. Then it's dead.
Yeah.
Like this is I think the last hoorah for it.
Yeah.
And I think the rumors for the PS5 announcement will be this year, and possibly November release.
Oh, wow, okay. You think they're just going to pull a real bad decision and say, hey, it's the PS5, and it's out this year?
I think they're due for a Saturn move.
Yeah. Yeah, the PS3 wasn't really a Saturn move. That was a much different move, and it'd be great if it's like, and pre-orders are available on Amazon right now. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I think that's a very possible thing, especially everyone's reaction to the Xbox One X is going to spur this along.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's no reason why that thing cannot play 4K Blu-rays, and I think that they're looking like, how did we miss that? We need to get something out there now.
I know, an external drive. HD DVD drive did so well on 360.
That would be the best.
Yes, it would.
Oh man.
That's
any
it.
other predictions?
Nope. I think they're going to jump the shark.
They're just going to pull a Sony and jump the shark.
Yep.
We're on top. Let's do something to screw it up.
Yep.
All right, Moonpier, your predictions.
So my first prediction is Sony keeps up the Sony attitude, which is to say we're on top and we're better than everybody else. No, we will not discuss cross-platform play. No, we will not discuss publishing our games on other systems. We are Sony. We do what we want. Like it all, hate it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was kind of on the fence of predicting something along those lines, and I think the only one that would have worked with it is there's a big PlayStation 4 update for Minecraft that allows cross-platform for that and that alone.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know the only reason that Microsoft have stopped that is because Sony don't want it. It's like, it's a rival competitor who's published a game on your platform and they're making money through you. So
just throw everybody a bone here.
Learn about this. Isn't a competitive community. It's the better everybody does, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, they release or / announce, and this is a difficult one to phrase, at least 8 character action games, kind of in the style of Uncharted. So
Uncharted, God of War,
God of War, Heavy Rain, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Where it is single player experiences. Maybe they have a multiplayer element, maybe they don't, but it's that story driven thing, and everybody gets fed up with it because we've all been playing the same game from Sony for a while. Both Sony and its partners. I'm not going to distance myself from them. Whatever it is, the Get Out one with The Apprentice in it. From Force Awakens, the guy who plays The Apprentice.
I don't remember the name of that. But you're saying like first and second parties are going to be guilty of this.
Yeah, like the game they showed with all the stupid zombies at E3 this year.
Oh, Days Gone.
Yeah, it's another Uncharted.
It's another
looking
zombie game in 2018.
Yeah, it's just like The Last of Us. It's just like Uncharted. It's just like God of War. They might change combat for different games, but it's the same game over and over and over again. and I'm going for release/announce 8 of them. So if they release 4, they have to announce 4.
Okay.
Okay. And that's pretty much it, because I think Sony's got everything to lose, and they've done such a good job of losing things over this year that I'm hoping they don't. Like I said, I want Sony to do well, because Sony doing well means Microsoft has to change and do things differently and be better.
A rising tide lifts all ships.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's all I've got for Sony. I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst.
To sort of complement my Microsoft Xbox One X prediction, Sony doesn't make PS4 Pro enhancements mandatory for releases, and support for the hardware wanes over 2018. I think they are going to totally miss the opportunity of selling the potential power of the PS4 Pro and just squander it completely. And I think by the end of 2018, you don't really see any benefits of buying a Pro, maybe other than HDR.
I'm going to go with 30 frames a second on that as a benefit of playing on a Pro.
Yeah. Sony starts a game download subscription service like Microsoft's Game Pass, but unfortunately, it's way too much money per month.
Oh, like Sony.
Yep.
I think they will put it out and they will do it right, and then it'll be like $25 a month, and you go, oh, no. No, thank you.
I can't wait till they say it's $60 a month. I'm like, what? You pay $60 per game? Now we're giving you $50?
Yeah, yikes. PSVR languishes all year until support has nearly vanished by year's end. So I'm sort of taking the other tack that Knobs is predicting. And my last one, Sony formally announces cross-platform play.
Ooh.
And they're going to do one thing right and say, Microsoft and Sony have banded together to support, you and your friends playing and chatting across platforms.
I think they will do that the second Microsoft takes the lead, or they perceive Microsoft as taking the lead. That's when they'll do it.
Hey man, whatever happens, I can play more games with you guys. That would be alright. Mm-hmm. Community predictions. This one is from somebody whose name I didn't write down, so let me pull it up here while I stretch this sentence out. This one is from T-Bomb Rocks. Bomb Rocks. Not Rocker. With the success of PUBG on Xbox, Sony will drop its early access stance. I feel like that's probably an easy prediction. Assuming how well PUBG is going to do, Sony might go, yeah, early access is okay. You guys can start doing that now. That seems to be okay.
I have my problems with some version of early access, but so far Microsoft seems to be knocking out the park with it. To name 2 or 3, Astroneer, Elite Dangerous, PUBG, 3 early access games I have bought on Xbox One. Elite Dangerous is now a full released game. Astroneer just keeps getting better and better and better, and PUBG. Spoiler: it takes 30 seconds less than to get 100 people in a room. It's doing pretty good.
It's insane how many you second you spawn around that ship and there's 100 people. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next Devil May Cry game will be exclusive to PS4. I hope not. I feel like that's Capcom really just flushing money down the toilet. If it doesn't come out on all 3 platforms, PC, PS4, and Xbox One, I feel like that's not a thing you do anymore. The Last of Us 2 will review better than average, but be decisive because of the content. I think I mistyped divisive.
I can see that.
Based on the horrifically disgusting and terrible trailer they already put out, that's probably a guarantee. TVGP alum Brian the Hannah, PS4 Pro support continues to be middling at best. Sadly, probably. PSVR gets a price cut and some mainstream press for being the first affordable VR experience. That's an interesting point. They got a lot of press for during, I think it was the end of November this year. It was down to $200. I think a lot of people were saying look, it's a VR thing for $200. If you have a PS4, $200 ain't bad. And Sony ritually sacrifices a Vita on the stage at E3. Fan sites will ask, Is the Vita finally dead in the following days?
No,
Sounds
never
about
say
right.
die to the Vita.
Jess, aka Mrs. Moonpier, writes, "We still won't own one."
What, a
She told-
PlayStation 4?
Yeah,
Anything,
she told,
probably.
Yeah, she told me she sent this in.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about Moonpier's wife, she does not like Sony, and that was the most kind way I can put that.
Apple either, just for the record.
Yeah. Corey says Sony revives Siphon Filter for the PS4.
Oh, come on. There's a
That'd be
there's a
interesting.
franchise that needs to come back.
Yeah,
Give me a Splinter Cell and a Siphon Filter released in the same month, please.
There you go. And a new Hitman. You just be sneaking all month.
Oh, yeah.
PS4 Pro finally gets system-wide downsampling for 1080p TV owners. I don't know what that means. So, maybe it will come, and maybe I will learn what that means. Sony finally allows crossplay in 2018.
I hope so. I genuinely
yeah.
do.
I just do it. Come on. Musum, excuse me. Sony starts annually upgrading the hardware of their $400 price point PS4, but doesn't match the Xbox One in 2018.
I could see that.
I hope not. I don't want to get into the
phone market.
I don't want to get in the phone market or like the laptop market where it's like, oh, like Apple's laptops, where it's like, oh, the new OS doesn't run in this laptop that you bought in 2013, but if you bought the one in late 2013, it'll run on that. Like, I don't want to see like Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will run 60 frames on the late model C version of the PlayStation Pro in 2018, but not the early B model. It's just like, we don't need that. We don't need more SKUs. 2 is enough.
Yeah, it's the iPad naming convention as well, where it's just like iPad, 7, Air, 1, 0,
Yeah.
just the iPad now. iPad 2017.
Well,
What?
it's like
Which one am I buying?
It's like what we saw with the 360, where it's like, what is the arcade, and why is that different from the Pro or the Elite? Like, let's not go back there. Those were dark times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's so rife to do that with just the amount of memory in these machines.
Yeah.
Like,
God of War 4 is actually good, but little to nothing like a God of War game. Okay.
oh, that
I'll
would
take
be awesome.
Yeah. Sony starts allowing cross-platform play on certain games. I think he's sort of taking the other tack, where it's like,
Come on, Monster Hunter. Come on, Monster
come
Hunter.
on, Monster Hunter. Matt from Oz, at least 2 more trailers for Death Stranding with no release date in sight. I should just give him a point for that right now.
Yeah, you might as well just mark it down right now. Give a little 1 next to it.
PS4 Pro Plus announced will be the most powerful console ever, at least until Microsoft one-ups them within 12 months. I really
what a
hope not.
great world we live in.
Yeah, really hope not. God of War, Dreams, Detroit, and Days Gone all disappoint but won't be terrible, 70 to 80 Metacritic range.
I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like God of War, if it's an open world-ish game and it plays well, I feel like that's going to be the one out of the 4 that's going to do really well. But I feel like the other 3 are just going to flop for various reasons.
Well, yeah. I hate Detroit just on the developers alone, so...
Well, Detroit has a lot going against it, so does Days Gone, and Dreams is a game that Media Molecule keeps trying to explain, and everyone goes, okay. Is that a game?
Is that the game they showed at E3 where I didn't actually understand why?
We were like
if it was a
making
game?
dreams with a move
Yes.
control?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that thing is. Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, no one does. I don't know if they do either. Gibbinator predicts PlayStation Now officially gets phased out. Please, 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 please. Surprise reveal of a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. That'd be interesting. I don't know if that's a 2018 game, though. It feels like an E3 like teaser trailer at the end, where it's like a robot dinosaur falls over and it's her, and that just says 2 on the screen.
Zero Dawn 2 or Point 2.
02. The VR machine keeps chugging along in the background. I think this is the first person we've heard from, other than Knobs, that's sort of like, VR is going to do all right.
I forgot about it, so that tells you everything that I think about VR.
PS4 is my primary console, and I keep forgetting about it. So, yikes. Maximus Prime predicts Sony will dominate the first half of the year with great exclusives like God of War and Spider-Man. I mean, like Moon said, it's their industry to lose at this point, and they have a lot of great games that are in the pipe. So, just put them out and have them be good.
Yep.
They announced PSVR 2 at E3 with a thud, and Games Media wonders where the PS5 announcement was. Possible. Despite a strong start in 2018... hold on, let me try this again. Despite a strong start, Sony ends 2018 in third place in annual sales and mindshare due to a poor release timing, a much stronger competitor on the rise, and a misplaced focus on VR. I mean, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what Nintendo does this year. I think Microsoft's going to do really well over 2018, and as long as Nintendo keeps putting stuff out, they can do really well.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our final category here, miscellaneous/others in 2017. Knob starts out with Shenmue 3 comes out, and everyone is confused what it is.
Well, everyone was confused as to what it is. It just didn't come out yet.
I think everyone's more confused right now.
Yeah, that trailer they put out where they're like, this isn't final, right? And they're like, no. Animations aren't in yet. They're like, maybe you shouldn't have shown it yet.
Well, hold on. They released a trailer without animations?
Yeah, it was real bad. It was bad.
Is Kojima behind this? Because that's a Kojima trick I could see.
Maybe that's the unveiling. Sega says, we hire Kojima Production. This is Death Stranding. Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would make me play a Shenmue game?
Yeah, maybe. Destiny 2 gets pushed back to 2018. It needed to, but shockingly came out in 2017.
Yep.
Silicon Knights rises from the ashes as something different. With how ridiculous 2017 was, I almost wouldn't be surprised if some company out there is Silicon Knights again.
Mm-hmm. THQ exists again?
Yep.
That's a great point. Who knows what can happen? We still have a couple of weeks in 2017 left by the time we're recording this. Anything can happen. Moon says Telltale Games announces 3 new properties, start 2 this year. So we had Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Batman Season 2.
That's not really a new
It's a sequel.
Property. And Minecraft Story Mode came out this year.
Did that come out this year, or did that start last year? I don't even know.
I think it started and finished this year, and then Season 2 started. They put that stuff out fast.
Yeah, they did.
When
like,
Minecraft makes you money.
There's a lot of money. Let's, let's get this out.
Yeah.
Zero for that for me.
They announced a bunch of new projects, but I don't think any of them have really seen the light of day yet. VR does very well in popularity and respect, but only on word-of-mouth marketing, aka trying out a friend's VR headset. When I was in Fry's, they had a full VR setup on the floor, and had Job Simulator running.
I was at Polaris Mall on Friday down in Columbus, and they had little VR eggs you could sit in and do VR stuff.
Crazy. I think word-of-mouth marketing did work really well in VR's favor this year. I think it's one of those hard technologies that you have to strap that thing on your face, and then you go, oh, okay, it works and it's cool. All right. VR.
Yeah, and no one's like, no, FVR. Like, no one's that at all.
Except for the normal haters that hate everything, but, I mean, they're just going to keep doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
AAA games stay the same. Indie games get bigger and bigger. The cycle will start back over. I sort of, I feel like indie games, even if they didn't get bigger, you saw indie games that got a lot more coverage, like Cuphead this year.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a lot more marketing get pushed towards a lot of these games.
Yeah.
Status quo this year, every company does what they usually do.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Nintendo definitely didn't do what they normally do.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
except
were
for
successful.
online.
Well, yeah, except for that.
My predictions: a Res sequel is announced for 2018. It's a full game like Area X, and it's beautiful. I still have time. Make it happen. E3 2018. Persona 5 slips one more time before it gets released for real.
Oh,
I think I got that one, because I think it slipped by like a month. Final Fantasy Anthology 1 through 9 release is actually real. Curses.
You wish.
Yeah, I do wish. Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually pretty good, though it's very, very different from the original game. I don't even think we're close to smelling a release date on that one. So
No. I think we'll get another teaser trailer in E3 2018.
Yeah, probably. And Destiny 2 is delayed at the last minute, releases March 2018. What the future
wish.
could have been.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The community, the Floydage. Destiny 2 delayed to 2018. Sorry, Boston. Yeah, I'm sorry too. Sorry, came out. Mass Effect Andromeda is everyone's game of the year. Whew. No new Elder Scrolls game, even though Skyrim came out 5 years ago. We got like 3 new versions of Skyrim, so
Yep.
we
It's a
had that.
game that doesn't die.
The VR, Switch, and I think the PS4 Game of the Year one came out this year too.
So the Xbox One version.
Yeah. Bluff. Esports become way bigger than anyone ever expected. Not in 2017. We're getting there. Getting closer, but not yet. Musin predicts Persona 5 is the best game ever, sells over 1 million copies. Sony still ignores it aside from maybe a 2-second clip in a montage at E3, and it's not nominated for End of the Year awards outside of podcasts.
It wasn't, was it?
Shockingly, a lot of that is it was not. I don't think it was really the best game of the year. Sold over.
did it make
1 million.
your top 10?
What's that?
Did it make your top 10?
Yes,
It did. Yeah, it
I
was.
think it was like 7.
or like between like 7 or 4. It wasn't top 3. I don't think. Sony, I think, focused at 83, but not a lot of top 10 I think that people forgot about it in their top 10 lists. A lot like Yakuza 0, where it's like, oh, right, that came out this year. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 releases without being pushed back more than 4 weeks, wins multiple awards, including Game of the Year at VGAs, no PC version. So, surprisingly, did not come out this year.
Push that on to 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, GTA 5 Online.
Yeah, exactly. Mass Effect Andromeda releases and is average.
Yep.
Yeah, I will give him a +1 for that one. Persona Arena made for Persona 5 releases before the end of the year. Shockingly, we're getting something even crazier, where Arc System Works is just taking BlazBlue and sticking 4 other franchises into it. So,
What?
including Persona. So, who knows anymore?
What franchises are they sticking in that?
There's like Arcana Heart, a bunch of other like anime fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
It's real weird. Lance Freeman, VR stagnates due to high cost of entry, turning off all but the hardcore devotees or super rich.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel like it's stagnating, but I feel like it's just a lot of people are just waiting for it to get to that like $300 price point.
Yeah.
Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy will have a playable Groot, if only so we can have the obvious situation of every dialogue option being I am Groot.
Nope.
Then that happened.
There you go.
Get a +1 for Lance Freeman. Speaking of Telltale, they announced another Batman season will end up being more Justice League focused. That's a half on that one. As of so far, it's not Justice League focused, as far as I can tell. I feel like with Justice League, they are very heavy-handed on it, so, you'll see that coming a mile away. We will get more Death Stranding CG trailers with more famous people in them. No real gameplay is shown until 2017 Game Awards.
Oh, that's a big plus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that baby's famous when he recorded his CG video, but he's definitely famous now.
The thumbs up baby. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves him. Sean Murray of No Man's Sky will definitely have online player interaction infamy. It is only Oh man, is only allowed to read from pre-written press releases while talking up their future releases. He has been disappeared.
Yep.
That dude is gone. Smartly. And no future releases. They keep patching No Man's Sky. They're very quiet. They're silently working away on that game. Maybe for better or for worse. I'm not sure, because no one's playing it. Someone who doesn't understand what non-disclosure agreement means accidentally lists a codename for 9th Gen on their LinkedIn page, starting the long, drawn-out march to PS5/Xbox whatever.
Yeah. I think that
Shockingly
could be
not.
very true.
That is...
I think that could happen next year.
I like the specificity of the LinkedIn page. 'Cause I
LinkedIn
feel
thing,
like that's where it always happens.
Yeah.
Maximus Prime, because of the release of both the Switch and Scorpio video game sales, figures bounced back in console and software sales compared to 2016. I feel like it wasn't because of that. It's just because every game came out this year.
Yes.
All of the games. And
it was
all
the
of them
rule
were
of
good.
7 year this year.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption does release in 2017, and it does end up being a blockbuster, selling phenomenally and picking up a majority of the Game of the Year awards, only to beat occasionally by Mass Effect and the new Zelda. New Zelda, yeah, but not everything else. VR Crash. VR has its bad year where lack of software, promotion, and positive public sentiment scare people away from taking the plunge yet.
That's pretty much accurate, I would say.
Yeah.
When I'm hearing alarmist news stories about VCs not willing to invest in VR this year.
I mean, those are the same outlets that write every year, like, PC is dead. Is this the year PC finally dies? It's like, no, it's
True.
Is this the year JRPGs die? No, they're still fine.
As long as the
Strange.
internet exists, PC will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. The great DLC decline. I want to end it on a high note. Publishers finally decide what to do what gamers want and adjust their paid DLC business strategy and shift to free maps and content in exchange for skins, etc. that you buy or play a lot for. They actually do a solid job of implementing this system, and it becomes a new positive trend in games industry for the foreseeable future. They did the opposite.
I'm going to go with a half point on that because he kind of half nailed it. It's just gone the wrong way.
Yeah, it just went the paid route. It went worse.
Loot box galore on that one. Hi. The HANA, second-gen consumer VR starts being talked about, not necessarily more powerful, but smaller and cheaper.
It's been rumored, isn't it?
I think that's a point because Oculus, I think it was, or HTC was putting out the one that's smaller and has the battery in the headset, or was that a rumor?
I think that's what they're hoping to do.
That's what they're working. I think the HTC Vive 2. I think that's what their plan is.
Okay. Yeah, so nothing really formally announced yet, but uptick in 4K TV sales thanks to PS4 Pro. Half a point, but that actually happened because of the X, I think. And games continue to try and launch with esports communities, continue to fail.
Yes.
I don't think they tried to do esports communities at all in 2017.
Outside of the groups on
For Honor,
Xbox?
Ubisoft.
Yeah, For Honor flopped for a lot of other reasons, though.
Oh yeah, no dedicated servers. Thank you very much.
I feel like what he was predicting, not to put words in his mouth, but some of the annoying stuff that we saw in 2016, where it's like, don't forget to start your own esports league in this game. We have full support for it.
True.
It was like really pushing for it.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of this year that's done that is Lawbreakers, and I couldn't give less of a crap about that game if I tried.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone that's played that.
No.
It has hit record low numbers on Steam, like almost immediately. It has done very poorly. All right, let's talk about our 2018 predictions, starting again with you, Knobs.
All right. Unreal Tournament 4 comes out of alpha.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a tournament.
Yeah, I haven't been tracking that game at all.
All I've seen is bits and pieces from UPFs.
It just popped up on my radar a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Let me see. Why can't I read my own writing? I really don't know the sentence I wrote down. VR gets a, I'm guessing, bump.
Giraffe?
I think so.
Hippopotamus.
That looks like a mathematics sign. I don't know what that
You're
means.
saying VR maybe has a good sales year?
I think VR. I'm putting all my eggs in the VR basket this year.
Yeah.
Not just because I bought one, but I just kind of have a feeling it needed that slow start to it.
Yeah.
And once more and more people get exposed to it, I think it's just gonna go.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that might be a good call as well, because look at every single console life cycle or new technology. It's the first year you get some interesting experiences, then you get the slow year, and then you get the third year where it's like people have been developing this for 2 years now, so let's drop some hot on this.
Mm-hmm. They figured it out.
Yeah, and I think that's just an egg just waiting to crack. Because
Yeah.
I think, because again, like I think a lot of my opinion on it is based that no one says this is a horrible experience
Right.
from any aspect. Like
Right.
it's not a vomit machine. They seem to have figured that part of it or out, right? Most everything has a controller, so I don't know. I just got a feeling it's going to be VR is going to be like the hotness this year.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, we get a whole lot more of a year complaining of loot crates and
Yeah.
chests, because I don't think that trend's going away.
Yeah.
I think it's going to hit a fever pitch this year.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come out and say it. Pirates aren't in this year. Sorry, Sea of Thieves.
Pirates aren't in this year. Pirates aren't in this year? All right, Moon Pier.
Funnily enough, you mentioned loot boxes. EA doesn't learn from its mistake. Keeps on going with loot boxes.
Yeah.
Staying on the same train. Ubisoft learns from EA's mistake, or rather, doesn't learn and tries to go for more loot boxes. Indie games grow again and become I think it's Dave Lang coined the phrase, the triple B space that we have lost over the past like 5 or 6 years.
Right.
I think indie games will grow into that, and then there will be triple A, triple B, which is the indies, and then the hot garbage, which is everything else that's on the stores.
Yeah.
Like the endless multitude of arena shooters that just issue against a wave of bots, and hey, let's put as little effort as we can into this.
Yep. Let's just rip off PUBG and put it out. Yay.
Yep, pretty much. And my final prediction, and this is the easiest 1 point I've ever had: games will come out, we will play them.
I'm not even writing that down. But yes, you're true. I have a crazy prediction. A new Half-Life game will be announced.
Oh, wow.
That's outstanding.
I'm not saying it's ever going to come out. I'm not saying who's making it.
Well, technically, episode 3 has been announced.
Yes, about a decade ago.
Now, are we talking a new Half-Life general game? So are we talking Portal, Half-Life, anything in that universe, basically?
No, I'm saying like a full banner Half-Life. It might not be called Half-Life 3, but it's and it's not like, we just saw like Portal Bridge Simulator. It's not going to be one of those where it's like Gordon Freeman shows up in Heroes of the Storm. It's not going to be one of those. It's somehow something's going to get announced, and it's going to be a brand new Half-Life game. And it's probably
Give me a Left 4 Dead 3.
I mean, that would be great, but that's never going to happen. That thing doesn't make money, so
I know.
yeah, sadly. A VR headset that contains the PC in the headset itself will get released this year.
I hope so.
I think that's the
It
last.
comes with an exoskeleton to hold it up.
I think that's the last bastion for VR acceptability for the PC. Is I think if you don't have to have that long cable that runs to your PC, and you don't have to be with a full desktop computer, it might not be the best experience, but I feel like that's going to be, if somebody can go out and spend $400 to $500 and just get a headset you put on and it fires up Steam and you just play stuff like that. That might be a little bit too much Lawnmower Man, but I'd like to see
I
that
think a
happen.
lot of it would depend on. I can't believe someone hasn't done it with the Raspberry Pi and cracked that nut yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have your waist lap band or something with that stuff tied into it, and or even have it on the band itself where it's literally like you're connected to it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking.
Why not do a Steam box, but it fits in a headset and it's a VR box?
Sure, yeah.
Stream it from your PC. That's absolutely fine.
Another great option, sure.
Well, I mean, it all depends on if they cap our bandwidths now.
Put a Steam Link on your head.
Yes.
Yeah. And that
goes over the left ear.
Right, exactly. And my last prediction, we get legislation around loot boxes, and it goes real bad.
I hope that's very true.
I think it's going to be like the ESRB being ushered in, but way worse for the video game industry.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Games are people.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome to America. All right, and last but not least, our community predictions here. T-Bomb Rock says a Grandia HD collection will be announced. I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
How has that not happened yet?
Yeah. The increase in sales of the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro will drive graphics cards to take a $100 or more price cut. I would have said yes until the price of Bitcoin went through the ceiling, and it went the other way.
Yep.
How funny was it that we had that conversation and a week later that price doubled?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bitcoin's crazy. Streaming games to your phone or tablet will become a viable option. Be interesting. Steam Link on the App Store.
I think without a jump in battery technology, I don't see that happening.
Yeah. I think that's why the NVIDIA Shield did well, because it had the controller, it had the screen, and it had pretty good battery life for you to be able to play at least something while you're on the go. Ubisoft will create an EA Access type of service for consoles and PC.
I hope so.
Like their EA. That would be interesting, but I feel like Ubisoft doesn't put out as much stuff as EA does on a year-to-year basis.
It doesn't, but Ubisoft has one of the biggest libraries that you have as an independent publisher these days.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Moonpier will convince Knobs to buy a pair of Astro A50s.
I have tried. I have failed.
It's not going to happen.
No.
TVGP alum Brian the Hannah says the U.S. government will attempt to intervene in video games via the loot box issue. It goes poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. The creation of an alternative to the ESA will be discussed is embraced by indie devs. This is interesting because there's been a lot of pushback against the ESA this year. Since it is a lobbying organization, a lot of large and small developers, especially indie developers, find that the ESA does not align to their wishes.
No, it aligns to the Big Four's wishes.
Right.
Well, here's the thing: who's pays attention to ratings on games?
No, that's ESRB. This is ESA.
Oh,
yeah. It's basically this is like a lobbying group to say, like we need this stuff for the video game industry. And they put out a bunch of statements this year where it's sort of like, I don't think the industry at large would agree with that. Documents leak proving that either Sony or Microsoft are working on Switch-like version of their consoles. This is more of a wish. Come on, Sony. That would be all right.
Sony doing tech. I mean, that's going to be a $900 tablet.
Yeah, exactly. The Sony Bravia Vio tablet.
Yeah, the Sony Vios tablet.
Yeah. Lord Kalmar predicts gamers and games media will stop caring about shrinking battle arena games, aka PUBG. Probably not. They will love PUBG throughout 2018 unless something really bad happens.
Mm-hmm.
And no AAA will make as big of a microtransaction mistake as EA, but we will continue down the slippery slope.
Yep.
I mean, EA probably will.
All right, I think EA might do it to Madden, and that would be the one that breaks them.
It's already been in Madden?
What, for...
But I think
technically it's always been in Madden, because those little card packs you get when you're making your little card catalog.
But they might push it to the way that FIFA does. I don't think they've pushed it as hard as they've pushed it with FIFA. I think that would be the breaking point, where it's like, oh, let's start my new team. Oh, I can't because I don't have enough players on the Cleveland Browns card packs. Wait, what? I don't have a full team? Like, I think that would be the breaking point. Jess, aka Mrs. Moonpier, writes, Remedy will finally announce their new project. Fingers crossed, Alan Wake 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Bring on Alan Wake 2, man. Come on. Far Cry 5 will cause a lot of anger. I like that that's a blanket enough statement to say, like, if it's bad, people are going to be angry. If it's controversial, people will be angry. That's a good prediction. Almost guarantees a point.
Yes.
Corey predicts at some point in 2018, specs for PS5 and Xbox 4 get leaked. I feel like 2018 might be the year for that. Even if it's like, are we sticking with x86 architecture? Are we going to some... Sony's going to make Cell 2 and be like, no, we're not screwing it up this time. We got it this time, guys.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I totally see it. And it comes in a tablet.
It's only $1,500. Bethesda announces Doom 2 at E3 2018 and steals a show. Yes? Please.
Yes, I'd be 120% down for that.
Yep. Doom 2 me up. Crackdown 3 won't suck. Please.
Please don't suck.
Please. Remedy announces a new IP for both Xbox One and PS4, which is an interesting
I hope so.
prediction.
I miss Remedy. I think they're a fantastic studio.
Yep.
They just make some poor business decisions, I think.
Or they were forced into them, maybe.
Yes, here is $20 million, make us a TV show, and have your game interact with this TV show, please. Thank you.
Yeah, but we don't want to. Get back in your hole.
And more poets of the fall in video games is always good by me.
Yeah, there you go. Musin predicts Atlas gets sold to literally anyone besides Sega. I mean, Atlas had a really bad 2017. I don't know if they can last through a bad 2018.
You know what? All I have to say to that is, let's go Microsoft. Drop that big-ass money wallet you've got over there on the Atlas.
Could you imagine those Atlas games being Xbox exclusives?
People would lose their mind.
I have an Xbox.
Oh, no, I know you would be all right, but I mean, that fan base is so ingrained into the PlayStation culture.
Well, SMT5 was announced for Switch, so and Switch only, so maybe that's not a problem they have to worry about.
Maybe not.
All three of the BattleTech games released to critical success. Our silence here, I think, is...
I didn't know the BattleTech game was coming out.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Me either. Well, I have no nostalgia for that, so I'm excused.
Yeah. EA becomes its final form, a loot box. Square introduces subscription service that includes a large chunk of their Super NES library playable on modern consoles. Yup, put it in my console. I'd pay a couple of bucks a month for that. But then, of course, like Square, it'd probably be $35 a month. We get the single player is dead articles again this year. Next year, we're going to get the JRPGs suck articles again.
Yeah,
Probably.
Despite the fact that I think this year was a banner year for JRPGs.
And single player games.
Minus Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, that's true. Matt from Oz predicts Bethesda/ZeniMax get into publishing multiplayer games or live service games because there ain't no money in single player games unless it's Elder Scrolls or Fallout.
Or Doom. Or Wolf.
Yeah, Bethesda had a pretty good year. But I wonder if they want...
The thing with Bethesda, I mean, they're putting out good games.
Yeah. I wonder if they're interested in that multiplayer game slice of the pie, or if they're just gonna keep working on Wolf 3 and Doom 2.
The fact that they've got the Elder Scrolls MMO out there and they give it its spotlight when the press conferences roll around. They give it its little push then. And it seems to be making a boatload of money for them based on the fact that...
It's free to play now, so it's doing pretty well. And they have that Elder Scrolls card game, too.
Yep.
Yeah. The EU implements regulation that treats paid loot boxes like gambling, and the US looks increasingly likely to follow suit.
I think if that you were talking about the legislature coming in, I think if it's going to happen over there first.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then there's just pressure on the US saying, "Hey, you guys make most of these games. You need to get your stuff together."
Because I know, it was the European areas that first started coming after US game developers over the advertising issues, which is why you now have that rendered in in-game footage shown on an actual engine. That's thanks to Europe.
We'll drop the ball hard on that one.
Yeah. Anthem is super successful out of the gate, but fans quickly sour as they realize it's just another empty MMO loot grind shooter that is missing the soul of classic BioWare games and is marred by play-to-win mechanics similar to The Division.
I legitimately hope that this is wrong, but it is a genuine fear for me.
Yeah, I think in the current marketplace, we're seeing this with Destiny 2 Season 2. We're sort of like, this is getting real dirty. So, yeah, I would like that to be wrong. We will see more games like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, mid-tier indie studios that craft super impressive single-player games that don't need to sell millions of copies to turn a profit.
Yep.
I agree. I think we're going to see what we referred to at my last job as AA games, where it's great games that feature an okay budget that were managed well, but they don't have a huge marketing push. They don't have a huge publisher behind them. They just sort of, like Hellblade, they come out, they do well, and they fund the studio, and the studio just kind of keeps on keeping on.
Yeah.
Smaller publishers like Devolver Digital and Tiny Build will explore subscription models like Patreon or Xbox Game Pass. That is a really interesting idea that I had never thought of.
A Patronus for Devolver.
Yeah, and basically saying like, well, you get to pay X dollars per month, and you get Devolver and Tiny Build both put out so much stuff every year.
Yeah.
They seem like they'd be pretty ripe for. Excuse me, phone. Siri, I'm not talking to you. Jeez. It seems like that's a pretty good marketplace for them to expand into.
Yeah.
Gibbionator predicts Yakuza 3 to 5 PS4 Mega Collection announced. Sure. Send it over. I'll do it. Loot boxes abandoned in favor of a subscription model. Pay a monthly fee, get weekly bonuses, all while keeping the horrible reward scaling and pay-to-win mechanics in place. I'm just going to cut this out of the episode so no one gets any ideas.
Yep. Thank you. Do that, please.
Yeah.
I don't
that
need
would be
MMO pricing.
Wasn't that what the season pass was for?
Yes.
Like the online pass?
Yeah, no, the season pass. Like
I was thinking about that horrible online pass where it's like you bought the game used, you gotta spend $5 to get online.
Yeah.
That was horrible. EA loses the Star Wars license in the wake of the loot box scandal.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Disney are not one to take prisoners.
I don't think that's going to happen because it's making them enough money. And in this case, the bad press is still press for Disney.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It hasn't reached the point where it's people are marching in the street and saying, remove loot boxes, we're burning our copies of Battlefront 2.
And people aren't going to go see Last Jedi because of Battlefront 2.
Exactly. I mean, once you get to that point, once you start pulling the wallet out of Mickey's pants, then that's when Disney starts to shoot people.
I mean, that might be one of my favorite turns of phrases ever. Pulling the wallet out of Mickey's pants.
Yeah, they don't like that.
I don't think he wears pants.
Yeah,
he wears shorts.
He just has the shorts.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, which one? Oh, I was thinking Donald Duck doesn't have pants.
Yeah, he's top half, no bottoms.
Mm-hmm. Unless he's out the shower.
It's probably fast and loose.
Yeah. We still won't have any idea what Death Stranding is. I'm just going to write a 5 down here right now.
Yeah, you might as well just give that one.
A Sonic Mania 2 announced will have more than 4 new levels. Apparently feels very strongly about Sonic Mania 1. Which I still need to play.
Everyone says it's so good, but it's a very
good games.
It's a very Sega move, though, to put that thing out and then put a sequel out the next year that's total trash.
That's true. Sega didn't even make that one.
Yeah, sully every good thing that they do by sequelizing it.
And Maximus Prime wrapping out the show here. We don't see a single game with paid loot boxes, season passes, and $100 edition games come back hard.
Ooh,
they're sort of already here, though, in a bad way. Both of them. And loot boxes. Like, that's the problem. Yep. It's not just the $100 games, it's all 3 of them at the same time. Grumble, grumble, grumble. VR slides further away from the minds of gamers, and devs stop making games for such a small profit margin and install base. So basically the opposite of what Knobs is predicting. Instead of it being VR, 2018 being VR's year to shine, it's VR just crumbles and dies. I hope not.
Mm-hmm.
VR's cool.
It's neat. We've only been getting teased from this from 1989. So
yeah, exactly. Games as a service hit an apex and a huge struggle as the market is flooded with poor games in the genre that don't have a financial model to support them since Battlefront 2 killed paid loot boxes.
Yep.
Wow, there's a lot to dissect there. I feel like games as a service are going to continue to a large part. I think because the level of support from the developers is what we're starting to get used to, which is, Titanfall 2, you're going to support this game for a couple of years until Titanfall 3 comes out. But there's a right way to do it, which is Titanfall 2, and there's a wrong way to do it, which is a lot of stuff that came out in the last half of 2017.
Yep.
So, BioWare actually surprises everyone as Anthem releases and delivers on everything Destiny was supposed to but didn't. Please, that'd be great.
Yes, please. I hope that's a point. I genuinely do.
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda and Dragon Age Inquisition didn't exactly set the world on fire, so we're sort of ready for another really, 10 out of 10 BioWare game to come out.
And if I'm right as well, weren't they also made by the B teams? Hasn't the A team been working on this thing for years?
Probably. BioWare's a little weird about disclosing things. And lastly, the first $75 standard price AAA games enter the market. Everyone flips out and then still buys them.
Yeah, and guess what? It's Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah. It's Call of Duty, it's Madden, it's one of those every year games that it's a good bellwether to figure out, all right, if you have to get this game and it's $75, are you still going to get it?
Yeah, I think Call of Duty was the one that jumped it from 50 to 60.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it might have even been Modern Warfare 4. Or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Around that time, yeah. All right, well, that's our predictions for 2018, and we revisited our 2017 predictions. I'm here to crown the winner of most correctest for 2017, and with 6 points, beating out the second place person, Musim, with 4.5 points, is the Hannah.
Again.
Sealing up another, looking into the future with Magic 8 Ball and figuring out, here's all the things that happened in 2017. So big props, most correctest of 2017, the Hannah. And we've been recording for about 2 hours for this ridiculous, crazy long episode. So Thank you very much for listening at the start of 2018, and we'll see you all next week.
Later.
Bye.
This is a 5 gig video file, so I'm going to stop it now and hope it doesn't die. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Bye.